So with exams and everything going on, right, I thought I'd pick a fun topic to do because I haven't done one of these videos in a while. I thought it would be fun to see how much of the Norian army we can actually turn into maids and butlers. And I thought this would be fun, right? It's not fun at all. It was very stressful. And it's... Dude, I should be studying for exams and finals right now, but instead, I'm doing this. So getting right into this, to create your whole entire army of maids and butlers, the optimal way to do this is to pick a male avatar and have your talent as Troubadour. Now that'll come up later, but we'll start with other people in the army first. So Felicia, Jakob, and Flora, they're already maids and butlers. They don't need any reclassing. Elise, Dwyer, whatever, and Forrest, they can all naturally promote into maid or butler. And I hate how there's two names for it, because I have to say maid or butler. I can't just say maid or butler. I have to say, you know what I mean. But anyway, these guys, the yellow dots, I should probably explain these dots better. But the green dots, the dark green ones, represent characters that are already in that class. The light green means they can promote into that class, and the yellow means they can heart seal over into that class. So one of Anna's secondary class sets is Troubadour, which of course gives her maid. And Leo, Effie, and Charlotte can all use the heart seal as well. Now these are all with A+ supports and everything. Camilla and Azora can A+ with Elise and get the class. Silas and Gunter can A+ with Jakob and get the class. And this is another reason why I decided to do Conquest. Just this for Conquest, because if I did Revelation or Birthright, we would end up with a ton of units that can't be maid or butlers. You'd have to make a bunch of decisions. And also in Revelations, Gunter can't support with anyone. So this is the only route where he can actually become a butler. Perry can A+ with Felicia and get the class. And moving on to the kids, Siegbert can A+ with Forrest. And Valoria and Midori. My handwriting's so bad I can't read it sometimes. Anyway, they can support with your daughter, female Kana, assuming you have her right now. But these orange dots represent you and Kana. Represent you because you picked the Troubadour talent and can just reclass into that, or turn into a Troubadour and then reclass, but it's whatever. And these purple dots, this is a very interesting thing that I found out. So in order for Arthur, Nyx, and Benny to get these classes, they can support with someone. Okay. Arthur's supporting with Charlotte. Normally when you have a partner seal, it'll give you your partner's class, right? So if I married Silas to Charlotte, I could reclass Charlotte into a Cavalier because that's Silas's set. But because Arthur shares a primary class set with Charlotte, he will get her secondary class, which happens to be Troubadour. So he can turn into a butler that way. Nyx marrying Leo can turn into a maid that way, and Benny marrying Effie can turn into a butler this way. Which is actually a pretty cool little detail, so you actually have a use for the partner seals for characters for pairings like this. So as for the S supports for the first gen parents, Felicia, Jakob, and Elise, I recommend that Elise and Felicia marry Odin or Niles, any interchangeable part of the two, because Ophelia and Nina cannot A support and get the class, unlike Valoria, Siegbert, and Midori, which means marrying Kaze, Keaton, or Xander would be pointless because they already have access into the class, while Nina and Ophelia don't. And Jakob, it really doesn't matter who he marries, because as long as it's a female that doesn't already have access to it. You could also marry him to Selena or Beruka, but Mozu is obviously the best mother because she gives Aptitude. And moving on to so these little blue dots, these light blue dots, represent characters that get the class set from their mother if your going along what I've said already, so Ophelia's mom being Felicia or Elise can get the class. Nina, Percy will actually get it. Percy and Ignatius will actually get the class from their mother as well, because they already get... Ignatius is a knight already, so the inheritance set that he gets is Troubadour. And Percy already gets fighter from Arthur, and since he'll always get fighter from Arthur, he gets Maid, or he gets Troubadour class sets from Charlotte. And for some reason, I don't know why this is a thing, Shigure is a Pegasus Knight. Azora's secondary class is Pegasus Knight, and for some reason, he can reclass into a Troubadour, but his mom can't without A+ing with Elise or some other means. I don't know why this is a thing, but it is. And you don't have to worry about Shigure. It's a stupid name. But anyway, that leaves Soleil and Sophie, who can marry DeWeer and... what's his name? Forrest. So, now that we have this whole army filled with maids and butlers, we can go over who is not a maid or butler yet. So, like I said earlier, Xander, Keaton, and Kaze, their children can already get access to the class by A+ing with someone, which would then, leave these that would leave Elise and Felicia's Troubadour sets not spreading as efficiently. This is pretty complicated the way I'm explaining it. Maybe it's more simple. I'm just not good at explaining things. But Selena and Beruka, like I said earlier, they're just not the best moms for DeWeer. And I personally want DeWeer to be as best as possible. And Shura, sadly, cannot become a butler unless you pick female Corrin, pick Troubadour as your talent, and marry him. But that's not optimal. But like I said, this was supposed to be fun. It turned out to be... it felt like homework. Like, it wasn't boring, but it was just so exhausting and complicated. But anyway, now that my throat is dry, I'm going to end the video. So I'd appreciate feedback or whatever, and any ideas on things that are confusing you in Fates. I'd love to make guides and explain things. I feel like my first guide video is the only one that's actually worked as I intended, because it has like thousands of views, or at least like 1,500 views, I think, and a ton of comments of people saying, "Oh, thank you, you helped me out." And in the comments, I guess I'll explain some more of this stuff, or not in the comments, in the description. My throat's too dry to redo this take, so this is what you're getting. Thank you.